how to transition to a recession-proof career in cybersecurity without certification. So I decided to just name it that. Okay. Now, why is this training important? I mean, so if you've been in this space, even if it's just for a week, you would know that there are over 100 certifications out there, and everyone has an opinion on what certification is going to get you into cybersecurity or tech or make you any kind of money, basically, right? There are way too many opinions out there. But what I'm going to discuss with you tonight is what I call the mindsets, the winning mindset framework, basically. And this is the fastest way I have seen that has helped people fast track their career and upgrade their career to the next level. Okay. So what we'll be sharing here will be the secrets to starting a six-figure cybersecurity career without certification, university degrees, or even coding, or any of those technical must-haves, right? We'll be talking about it on this call. I do have one disclaimer though, and it is I would only be speaking from my experience, okay? Experience of what I have gone through or helped people go through, right? I have some strategies that, if implemented, you would see great results. I mean, I used to be that guy who used to think that I needed IT certifications, to get into a career in tech, until I stumbled upon a niche area in cybersecurity, which we're going to discuss about, right? And obviously, for some of you who have spoken to me, you would have heard me speak about this niche area, which is within the realm of GRC. Now, GRC stands for Governance, Risk, and Compliance. But we're going to talk more about this. All right. So who's this for? Are you tired of chasing certifications and still not making enough money? Are you frustrated with job boards, endless applications, and never hearing anything back, from hiring managers or recruiters? Or are you feeling like you're lost in the crowd of IT professionals, where you're just in between, you're no direction whatsoever? Are you skeptical that you can actually break free from all that and move up to a six-figure cybersecurity job within a couple of weeks without certifications? So if you fall into any of these categories, this is for you, right? And one thing I would say though, that the only way for you to achieve six-figure recession-proof earnings without certifications or degree is through mastering specialized skills. And I'll explain that in a bit. All right. Mastering specialized skills. Okay. So just hold that up there and I'll explain that. But before I do, who is this young man standing before you? All right. My name is Akin Odedino, and I am a cybersecurity consultant. I have consulted for Fortune 500 companies, some of which are there on screen: HSBC, Vodafone, Credit Suisse, Her Royal Majesty's government. Well, His Majesty's government right now, Hiscox, Mercer, you name it. Okay, so that is me right there. Now, I initially came from a financial background. So I tell people this, and I tell you this to also let you know that if I can do it, you can do it as well. So my first degree was in accounting. My master's was in financial management. No IT degree whatsoever. No technical certifications. No skills. I don't know how to code. I still don't know how to code. And but yes, I found myself and I found my way into this. I'm not even the smartest. Some of you who are probably on this call, we probably went to uni together, and some of you can tell that I wasn't the brightest in class. Okay, so if I can do this, you can do this as well. All right. So are you ready? Are you ready to go? Let me say the yes, 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 yes. Is everyone ready? How many yeses? All right, all right, all right. Okay, good, good, good. Someone is saying, please define six figures. So I'm talking about 100,000 US dollars, 100,000 pounds, euros, whatever, and above. It is very possible. anything six figures. That is, it's very possible. So excited, excited. Yes. All right, let's go. Okay. So if you've been struggling to land a six-figure role, this is probably why. And let me break this down. All right. You have chased certification and degrees instead of skills. You are a jack of all trades, right? And jack of all trades is a master of none. There is a concept which I call the shiny object concept, where someone tells you, oh, this is what's making money, and the next thing you go there, or they say this is what's making, and you go there. You're just dipping your hands in different things and not actually focusing on one particular one. That could also be the reason, right? So jack of all trades, master of none. You are solving small problems. Small problems get small remuneration or compensation. Okay. And you don't have a mentor who's been where you want to go. And I tell a lot of people this, that when you want to aspire to go to the next level, one of the few things you need to do, amongst other things, is look for someone who has been there, right? And let that person mentor you, right? I think there's a saying that the reason I go further is because I stand on the shoulders of giants, or it's on the shoulders of those who have gone ahead of me, or something like that. But I cannot overemphasize this. Mentoring is very important. Okay. So, and you've been forced to believe that certifications will make your life easier. And you know what? The school system I came out from also has this belief system that, you to get into tech, go to school, get a certification, and get a certification, then you get a job. All right. So now that belief system is keeping a lot of people stuck where they are. All right. So which I believe it's not the way, because if you want to get into tech, if you want to get into a position where you're getting paid huge sums of money, you need to focus on something. You need to specialize in something. Okay. Now, how many people here have watched, let me draw a parallel from the medical field. There's a TV show I love so much, and it's called Grey's Anatomy. How many people have watched that? Yeah, Grey's Anatomy. Anyone? Anyone? Just yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. So Grey's Anatomy. Now, in Grey's Anatomy, there for those who there are two characters. So, some people know there's a character. Well, there's a nickname. There's one called McDreamy and there's one called McSteamy, for those who know. Now, these two characters, one was a plastic surgeon and one was a neurosurgeon, right? Now, one thing I want to say is, what do you think is the difference between a plastic surgeon and a doctor or a medical doctor? A plastic surgeon, or let's say a neurosurgeon, difference between a neurosurgeon and a doctor. All right, I'll help you out there. Now, a neurosurgeon is a doctor, but a medical doctor or general practice doctor is not a neurosurgeon. Just hold that thought, and I will explain that in a bit. Okay. So now let's talk about the so we have a few things I want to do. I kind of named them secrets. So secrets one is how to stop chasing certification and finally get the skills that command six-figure salaries. Secret two, how to master in-demand skills, right? Or specialize, and finally achieve financial security for life. And secret three, how to set yourself apart and get jobs coming to you. And finally, get recruiters and hiring managers chasing it. So we're going to talk about all of this now, okay? Right. So now the first one, how to master in-demand skills or specialty, right? And I said something earlier. What is the difference between a neurosurgeon and a medical doctor? Or before we do that, what is even common? There are a few commonalities with them. I mean, they both went to university, they got a degree, probably went to medical school, they've got the same core skills, right? And quite frankly, they're both working in a recession-proof industry, right? So come rain, come shine, the recession hits, the medical field is a recession-proof industry, and they're both getting paid. They're both getting paid high salary, right? So I went to a website, I went to salary.com to, pick out what a physician, just a general practitioner earns. And as you can see there, right, a general practitioner earns $221,000. So 221, pretty much, as you can see, that's high, six figures, right? Right. So if a general practitioner is earning this, right, what do you think is the difference between what a general practitioner is earning and a neurosurgeon? So what's the big difference? Big difference. You know what it is? $400,000 per year. And I'll show you. This is what a neurosurgeon earns, 671,000 US dollars, as opposed to what a general practitioner earns, which was about $200,000. So why does the neurosurgeon command such a high salary? Let me know in the comments. They're both doctors, but why does the neurosurgeon command such a high salary? Why? Anyone? See, skills, one is a specialist. Okay. Anyone else? Specialized skills in neurosurgery. He works freelance, special skill, niche. Exactly. He is a specialist. Not certifications, but he specialized in a niche area. Right? And this is what I try to tell people, that certifications are not a magic bullet. Okay. So step one, you need to specialize. And I drew that parallel to make it more relatable so that you understand it better. So you need to specialize, right? You need to specialize in a niche cybersecurity area that has a massive impact on companies, right? And you know why? And I tell people this because your paycheck is a direct correlation to the value you bring to a company, right? And I tell people this, if your job right now is not affecting the company's financial bottom line, but that is, if what you're doing currently is not making the company money or offsetting risks that will make them lose money, then you need to step in another direction, right? Because I tell people there are riches in niches. So specialize in an area and focus on it, and specialize in governance, risk, and compliance, right? Now, what is this area, this GRC area? Now, it is the non-technical avenue of cybersecurity that no one is talking about right now. Everyone, and you see, the thing is, when everyone talks about cybersecurity or when cybersecurity is being spoken about, everybody thinks it's all about guys in a dark hoodie, in dark rooms, typing away ones and zeros and, things like that. And quite frankly, I won't blame them because that is what the society has painted security analysts to look. And Hollywood is not even helping matters, because if they want to depict a typical security analyst, it is those guys in hoodies, wearing glasses, acting weird and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong. There is that area of cybersecurity, right? There is the technical side, right? There are technical areas. There's cybersecurity engineers. There is security technical architects. There are penetration testers or ethical hackers, as we like to call them. There are all of those folks in the technical side of cybersecurity. Those sides exist. But then there is this side, which there is not enough publicity on. And this is the governance, risk, and compliance area, GRC. Now, in this area, right, you work on frameworks, as governance stipulates. Governance is you're working on policies that would guide how the organization manages their security within the organization. risk side of things is you're conducting risk assessments. You're looking within the processes of the organization, ensuring that the risk that the organization is taking is one that they can tolerate, right? That that they are not falling below a certain risk threshold. And compliance is simply there to ensure that the organization is complying with standard information security frameworks, right? And some of these frameworks include the following on screen. There's the GDPR, which a lot of you know, the General Data Protection Regulation, is a data privacy regulation within the EU, but companies around the world, multinational organizations that process this data of EU residents or citizens have to comply with that. And the GDPR has some very massive fines for non-compliance. All right. There is the NIST framework, National Institute of Standards and Technology. There's the ISO 21 standards. There's the CIS security controls. There is the PCI DSS, which stands for Payments Card Industry Data Security Standards. There's SOC 2. And I mean, this is a non-exhaustive list. There are a lot of the security frameworks, right? Especially looking at PCI DSS. This is one where organizations that process credit card data of customers, they have to comply with that particular framework. It is non-negotiable. They have to comply with that. All right. So now this area, what you're doing as a security analyst is you're understanding what the framework says, and then you're helping the organization comply with the framework, just to ensure that you're on the right side of this regulation. Okay. And it helps organizations because it gives massive impact to the organization. Because why? You are helping companies offset the risk of throwing away millions of dollars annually on non-compliance fines and penalties. Companies get fined if they are not compliant, right? And if you don't believe me, I've got a few examples here on screen. So let's look at this, all right? So now this is Capital One. Capital One, they suffered a data breach, right? I think it was in 2017 that they suffered a data breach, but they were fined 190 million in 2019. 190 million US dollars to settle a class action lawsuit. So you can see that the regulatory bodies are joking, right? 190 million. Now, how about this one? The next one, Equifax. They also suffered a data breach in 2017, and they paid what? $700 million to settle fines. 700 million. The next one we can see here is Uber. Uber was fined $148 million for failing to notify drivers that they have been hacked. So you see, a lot of these frameworks have certain requirements that organizations have got to follow. Now, I know one of the data breach reporting requirements is that the data of those who have been hacked, I mean, that they have to let the customers know. I remember when they had the Yahoo hack, I think it was 2013 or 2014. So Yahoo sent me an email telling me that my data was part of those that was hacked, so it's things like that. So now Uber was fined this because they did not follow the requirements for data reporting, for data breach reporting, basically, right? And if you think that this area of cybersecurity is not a big deal, right? Look at this. The former chief security officer of Uber was convicted because of that. I took this from the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Justice Department's website. The chief security officer of Uber at the time when this data breach happened was convicted. All right, and it was all over the news at the time. I don't know if he's been released now, but at the time it was going. So that is how serious regulatory bodies take this. So if you put yourself in a position where you understand this security and regulatory frameworks, you're in a prime position to earn six figures. Easy, without sweat, right? Now, immediately after this hack happened, This is what Uber did. They put out hiring for roles on all the job boards, particularly LinkedIn. So I took a screenshot of this when this happened. You know, everywhere Uber started hiring. They started hiring en masse. Why? Because there was a lock there. Because if they had or a security area within the organization that had looked into those vulnerabilities or those exposures, that data breach wouldn't have happened. So they started hiring. So basically, the point I'm trying to make is that as long as the internet exists, basically, there would always be the opportunity for GRC roles, right? Because companies would need to always comply with security framework. And you see, the threat landscape is changing. Hackers are getting smarter. They're devising new ways to break into systems and organizations' network. And as a security analyst, you're also ensuring that your organization is moving with the trends and the times. You know, you're looking at the threats that is happening in the time and ensuring that you're securing your organization or that your organization's security infrastructure is one that is moving with the times. Okay. Now, another popular data breach that happened for those of you who are in the US, I'm sure this would not even be news to you, right? Target had a data breach, and this was, in fact, this is the mother of all data breaches ever, because they lost 70 million customers' data to that breach, right? 70 million. How much did that cost them in fines? $300 million. So guys, this is serious business. And then regulatory bodies are not joking. And this is one area that there is still not enough people. I think it has been estimated that by 2025, there'll be like over X amount of million. I don't want to misquote it, but over hundreds of million jobs opportunities for cybersecurity analysts in this area. Okay. So now with this target breakdown, let me explain what's what happened to targets now. Now, Target suffered from what is called a third party or a supply chain attack, right? A supply chain attack, and I will explain that. So what this essentially means is is that company A, for instance, they're the target. You know, hackers want to go to they want to hack this particular company. In this instance, let's use Target as the target, if that makes sense, right? So, but because the company A they fortify their security, right? What they do is they go and exploit a connection that company A has with company B. Now, in this instance, company B is there offering some sort of services to company A, right? So is there provides a service. It could be any sort of service, you know, they're providing a service, right? Now, company B would connect to company A's network via a VPN. So I think that's standard practice. They will set up a channel, and a VPN, for those who don't know, it stands for virtual private network. So it's a tunnel through the internet that is secure, right? So what they will do is they'll channel their traffic through that particular tunnel because it's got encryption and it's quite secure, right? So it's not exposed to the internet. So, and that is how it works, right? So company B has that channel to go and provide services to company A. So hackers actually are going after company A, but because company A they have, you know, malware protection on their network, they've got active firewalls in place, you know, they've got very effective security policies and, you know, security awareness training. Their staff members have been trained not to click on links that they do not recognize, or not to respond to emails that they do not recognize. Okay. So what they then do is this: the hacker then tries to hack company B because they know company B has a direct connection with company A, right? And in this instance, in the target data breach, what the hacker did was they hacked the third-party company that was actually servicing the target store. So basically, what the company did, they were like what they do was they provide air conditioning systems to all the target outlets nationwide, within the US, right? So they service the air conditioning, when it's summer, they ensure that the air conditioning is cool. And when during the winter months, they ensure that, yeah, the heating and everything is working very well. And they have that connection just so that they can monitor like the service levels for the air conditioning units, the gas levels and all of that. All right. So what they did was they then sent a phishing email to the company, and one of the staff members clicked on it. Now they clicked on it, and what got downloaded was what we call a keylogger. All right. Now a keylogger is something that gets downloaded on the system, and all it does is it takes your keypad. It's whatever it is that you're typing. It takes the memory of it and it sends it directly to the hacker. And that is exactly what happened in this instance. So the keylogger captured the information for the VPN and sent it directly to the hacker. And the hacker then had access of it and the credentials and the password, and they were able to, get into target's network and get away with 70 million of customer credit card data, basically. So that's just a brief, and that's just one. And I've told you there are numerous attacks. There are a lot of them out there. The very common ones. There's phishing attack. This one is called the supply chain attack. Okay, so that's just one of it. All right. So what could they have done better if the security analysts within Target or the GRC security analysts, what they could have done better was this. As part of doing their security assessment or doing their risk assessment, right, they could have done what's called a third-party risk assessment. And a third-party risk assessment is security analysts from Target risk assessing the company that is providing them information, because now you're connecting into your network. I mean, to make this relatable, someone is connecting into your network, right? You don't know what their security infrastructure is like. You don't know what they have going in their company, right? What you need to do is to do a risk assessment on them to just ensure that they are following the right security standards and frameworks, because that's way it's going to help you. It's going to put you, give you the assurance that they're actually following security frameworks, that they're performing vulnerability scans, scanning their network, looking for open ports or exposures, that they have conducted a security awareness training where they've trained their staff members not to click on, strange links or things like that. So that is what a cybersecurity GRC analyst would have done better in this instance. Now, to further talk about this, when they did the investigation, they found out that the third-party company actually had what is called a malware protection, but they had the free version of it. Now, the difference between the free version and the paid or the professional version would have been that the pro version would have kept on running scans 24 hours, 24/7 nonstop. But the free version only does scans on demand. That is, you just push a button, it scans the network. If there's anything in the network, then it picks it up, isolates it, quarantines it, and kills it, right? But if they had the pro version, it would have real time. It just keeps scanning. It never stops. And it would have picked that, yes, that's the hacker has dropped a keylogger on their system. So these are the kind of things that, as a security analyst, in carrying out your risk assessments, is ensuring that this organization that you're sharing information with or that has a link into your organization is following standards and frameworks. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next one. I hope this is making sense. I hope it's making sense. Yeah. All right. So now secret number 2, stop chasing certifications. Please stop. Just stop. All right. I keep getting asked, Akin, do you think what certifications do I need to get into IT or cybersecurity? If I had $1 for every time someone has asked me that question, man, I'll be chilling, I'll be balling right now, I'll be a billionaire, right? People keep asking, I'm like, just stop, right? And another question people get asked is, that I get asked rather is, do you think this is a future-proof industry? And then I ask them another question, right? Do you think companies will stop accepting credit card payments anytime soon? And I'm asking you guys on the call, do you think so? Yeah, let's see. Yes, yes, no, no one? No, okay, no. Anybody else? Nope, nope. All right. Do you think companies will stop processing customer personal information anytime soon? No, no. So, do you see the longevity of cybersecurity as a profession? So, when I say recession proof, I actually mean it. Because as long as companies process personal information of customers or credit card information, they have to comply with security frameworks such as PCI DSS or the GDPR regulation, right? So this is long time. It's not going away anytime soon. In fact, I tell people as long as the internet, yeah, Omanike has said it. As long as the internet exists, there would always be the need for cybersecurity professionals. Okay. So step one is what is specialize, pick a specialty, right? Now, step two is mastery. You need to master it. All right. And I have a quick question here. So how many of you studied a foreign language in school? How many? You know, drop a one in the comments, if you studied a foreign language, just drop a one the comments. Okay, one, one, one. Yep. I mean, I did. I studied French. I think a little bit of Spanish as well. I studied um Spanish as well. So Chibike is asking, what do I think about the rapid increase in AI? I'll get to that. Let me just so I don't lose my train of thought. I'll answer that question. Right. So okay, I said one, one, one. Okay, good, good, good. Now drop a two in the comments if you can fluently speak the foreign language you learned in school. I can't see any two in the comments. You know what? And this is the accurate representation of many folks out there because I call it certified without skills, right? They've got the certification, but they don't have the skills, right? The same way I studied a foreign language, but I can't speak it right now. And so when people ask me that what certification should I get in order to get a cybersecurity job, I flip it back on them and say the better question you should ask is what skill should I master in order to get the job? Certification is just a conversation starter, but if you cannot carry that conversation with your skill sets, you will not get the job. Certification is great. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is great. I have certifications. I'll tell you free. I've got a bunch of certifications. For those of you who have seen my LinkedIn profile, you will see I've got loads of certifications there. But if you look closer, or if you look closely on those certifications that I have on my profile, you realize that I had those certifications during the lockdown. And I've been working in this industry for a bit. So why? During the lockdown, during the pandemic, where lockdown, I had time on my hands and I could go and sit for those examinations. Before I got in this industry, I had no certifications, nada, nothing whatsoever. But during the lockdown, I had for some free time, read up for it. And guess what? Because I was already in the job, a certification exam that would have been set for 3 hours, I was doing it in 45 minutes. Why? Because the questions came natural to me. I see a question and I can relate it to a situation or a scenario that I have worked on in the workplace, and the answers were just flowing. I think I did about 6 certifications in a space of 3 months, sat for 6 exams, and that's it. So again, the point is, I mastered skills first before getting certification. And I tell people, rather than get it, because at the end of the day, you get certifications, but we don't have the skill sets. I've been on a lot of interview panels, right, where I see guys their CV is amazing. They have all these certifications, and they come to the interview and they cannot carry the conversation because they don't have the skill set. You just have the certification. But what companies are hiring for is they're hiring for people who can prefer solutions to the problems that they're currently facing. They don't want they don't want to, like I call them paper ninja. You know, they don't just want people that just has a piece of paper but but they don't have the skill sets. Okay. And this is what mastery will do for you. Mastery is critical for success. But what is mastery? Right? Mastery is knowing why to execute the task or function and the associated impacts. All right. And I'll give a quick example. Right. So I'm asking you guys this question now. Why do we install Windows updates? All right. Or to make it relatable, why do you update your, your iOS, your iOS on your iPhone or your Android operating system? Why do you do that? Why? Yeah. Anyone? Anyone? Let's see the answers. I want to make this as interactive as possible. Anyone? Why? For security patches to new threats, okay. To keep up to date with the latest technology and antivirus security patches to fix bugs. So the appropriate response, or better still, the way I would respond to that is, I am removing vulnerabilities from critical systems so we maintain security as well as achieve our compliance objectives. So now the thing is, you've got to understand the big picture. You want to know the why we're doing it. Yeah, security patches, great, but why do we put security patches? All right, so it's going a step below that. We're removing vulnerabilities from systems to maintain security, to maintain adequate security, or achieve our compliance objectives. So that is what mastery help you does, because once you understand the why, you begin to know why you do certain things, not just so that you don't push buttons. And I'll give an example. Many years ago, I used to work with an organization, an online based company where I worked as a SOC analyst. So SOC analysts, these are the guys that sit in a security operations center. So SOC is short for Security Operations Center, monitoring the networks, ensuring that there isn't abnormal behavior, right, on our networks. And I had this manager that would always come to me and say, Akin, you need to do this. Yeah, make sure you do this and do this and do this. Was always telling me what to do. But this guy was earning double what I was earning. And that pissed me off because I'm like, this guy couldn't even do what I was doing. Yes, it was my manager, couldn't even do the technical stuff. I could do it. He couldn't do it. Right? But later I realized the difference between myself and him. Now, the thing was, in as much as I had a technical sense, I was pushing the buttons, but he had more or less so I said he had the big picture. He knew why those buttons needed to be pushed, right? And like I said earlier, when I said that the framework I'm taking you guys through is called the impact and winning framework, because you need to go beyond just being an IT person. You need to understand why certain things are being done. Look beyond, IT professionals are good at fixing things, right? Rather than attack the symptoms, you want to attack the problem. Let me give you another example. So you're working in an organization, right? And as part of carrying out a risk assessment within the organization, you realize that there's a particular system, maybe you scanned it for vulnerabilities, and you realize that this particular software has vulnerabilities that has existed for the past 2 years. We're in 2024 now. And it went in, scanned, maybe you just got the job and you just did a risk assessment and you saw that there were vulnerabilities that has been in the system since 2020, right? What will you do? What will be your next course of action? Anyone? Anyone? What will be the next course of action? As a cybersecurity analyst. Anyone? So let me say it again. did the scan, and the reports came out, and the vulnerabilities that have existed since 2020. You know, there are areas that should have been patched but hasn't been patched since 2020. What will you do? Okay, report the problem, find out the damage is done. Okay. Anyone else? Isolated vulnerabilities. Okay, okay, okay. Let's do an asset inventory. Okay, all right. Okay. So now, most of the responses that you have given is attacking or is fixing the symptoms. You're focusing on the symptoms. So when I say rather than focus on the symptoms, let us look at the problem. Now, as a security analyst, what you should first of all look at is what process is there that is in existence for updating vulnerabilities, because that is where the problem lies. Not patching, not isolating vulnerabilities. The process that says that when critical systems are outdated, that we should update it. That is what you should look at. And 9 out of 10 times, if you think about it that way, you realize that most of these things lies in business processes, not technical. And again, this is what I'm saying, GRC. The technical guys take instructions from the GRC folks. The GRC folks write the policy, they write the process saying, oh, hey, technical folks, can you configure within in the network saying that if anyone fails authentication, that is, they put in the wrong password to log into their system 3 times within a 5 minutes window, lock their system. Oh, GRC guys, thank you so much. We'll go in and configure it. We set the rules, we set the pace. And that is why this area is very, very important. We write the policy and give it to the engineers to implement it. And we then go ahead and oversee what they have implemented. So we need to go beyond being an IT professional. You need to, rather, IT professionals fix the symptoms. But GRC folks, you need to now begin to look at the problem. So it has existed since 2020. That means there's a lack in the process there, and that is where we need to fix. Okay. So moving on. Who can make this transition? I mean, IT help desk professionals, IT system administrators, network administrators, people who can follow directions, people who can pay attention to details, and people who can use a grocery list. I can see your faces, but I'm sure some of you are just like, what is Akin talking about? Yes. In other words, anyone can make this transition. And I'll prove it to you right now. Okay? Let me prove it. So one of the GDPR's core requirements states that personal data must be processed in a manner that ensures adequate security. That's just one. I think GDPR has got I think about 7 core principles or so. But one of it states that GDPR personal data must be processed in a manner that ensures adequate security. Now, let me give you a scenario. You work for an organization that processes information. Okay, let's say you work for a health company. Let me say a health company, for instance. Maybe you offer health insurance to larger corporations. And as part of that process, right, you send information of you send client information to the company stating that, oh, we have 100 of your employees that have taken out this health insurance. Oh, here's their data, here's the health insurance package, and all of that. And it would include things like their name, their home address, their social security number, or national insurance number, phone number, salary band, all of that. And you want to send it to their employers to say that, okay, this are your staff members who are taking on this package. Now, you put all this data in a spreadsheet, right? And you send it via email. Now, and in the same body of the email, you've attached the spreadsheet, right? Now, that spreadsheet is locked. You've locked it with a password, right? You've put some sort of password or encryption on it. But in the same body of the email, you attach the password and then you send. You attach the spreadsheet and you put the password and you send it to them. Would you say that that has been processed in a manner that ensures security? Would you? Anyone? Because essentially what you've done is it's like it's like your bank sending you your credit card or your debit card in this and your PIN in the same envelope. They send you your PIN code and and your credit card in the same envelope and they post it out to you. So yeah, so no, that data has not been processed in a manner that ensures security. So and that's just one. Okay. Now let's look at another framework, right? Now PCI DSS, like I mentioned earlier, stands for payments card industry data security standards, right? So their requirements here, 8.18 of the framework states that if a session has been idle for more than 15 minutes, require the user to re-authenticate to activate the terminal or session. So basically, what's this talking about? Idle time. That if your system has been idle for more than 15 minutes, lock it, lock the system and let them put in their password. Now I have a screenshot of my firewall, all right? Now look at the inactivity timeout. The idle time here is 25 minutes on my firewall. The framework says what? 15 minutes. But what has been configured is 25 minutes. So now the question is the firewall idle session configuration compliant? Is it? Nope. Okay, I can see nopes. Anyone else? Anyone else? Does anyone else think different? No, 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 no. Okay. Yeah. So I've got some news for you. So, and that is, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, I've got some news for you. So congratulations. You have just performed a cybersecurity risk assessment on a business process, as well as an audit on a network firewall. So give yourself, clap for yourself. Woo, woo, woo. Whip out your resume, put it out there. Call yourself a cybersecurity risk assessor because yes, you earned it and you did earn that. Okay. But guess what? Did you need any certifications to do that? Did you? Did you even need to know anything about network firewalls to do that? Did you? All you did was follow the cybersecurity framework and you got the job done. Now, the six-figure question is, would you rather spend your time chasing certifications or learning a simple cybersecurity framework that will put you in prime positions to earn six figures? I'll let you answer that question. Okay. So now the third one, the final point here is this: how to set yourself apart and get jobs or recruiters chasing you. So one thing I tell people is people hire people, not robots, right? You're being hired to prefer solution and you must be able to articulate mastery in such a way that clearly shows how you would solve the problem for them, right? And this speaks to personal branding, marketing. And I tell people that you need to treat your career like a business. Now, what I mean by that, every business has advertising. They've got sales, they've got branding, they've got marketing, all of that. They've got that position. Why? Because they are there to tell the customers why you should pick them as opposed to the competitors. And that is how you should also treat your career. You want to be able to put yourself in a position where the hiring managers would prefer you over the next candidate who's applying for that same job. And that is what personal branding and marketing helps you do, right? And there are loads of sites that can help you do this, like LinkedIn. You need to optimize your LinkedIn in such a way that it shows mastery, right? So in such a way that it shows that you know your stuff, that you know that you have this specialty, right? And LinkedIn optimization help. And another thing it helps you do is it can help you negotiate a better pay. Now, on screen here, I've got screenshots. Now, this is in my inbox, my LinkedIn inbox. I've got this a conversation between myself and a recruiter. So this guy reached out to me and says, "Oh, hi, Ake. I hope this reaches you well, and you don't mind the direct approach." In other words, he contacted me. I didn't reach out to him. I'm currently looking for a cybersecurity analyst within the London area and came across your profile, which is very interesting. The job sits with Meadow, which is part of the, blah, blah, blah. And it goes down and it says experience and knowledge of common industry cybersecurity frameworks, standards, and methodologies, including ISO 27001, GDPR, and NIST. Remember, I mentioned these frameworks earlier in an earlier slide. Now, it's beneficial for this role. Now, the salary is this £55,000 per annum. If you would like to have a confidential chat, please come back to me. Regards, And then I responded, thanks for reaching out to me. The role sits within my skill sets, but then I asked him, what is the budget for the role? All right. Now, this is what Mastery does. Mastery won't allow you to just go with the first offer. It puts you in a position where you know your stuff. So you won't just accept this kind of lowball offer. Then it goes on and says, hello, Akin, what salary expectations do you have in mind? And I straight up told him, minimum of 100K. I'm not taking anything lower than that, right? 5 minutes later, he comes back. He comes back saying, "Hello, I can put you forward at 95K. That is the top end of the budget. Please share with me your updated CV." All of a sudden, he's been able to bring 40K. Initially, he was putting 55K, and all of a sudden, from nowhere, 40K appeared, and he was able to offer 95K. So I tell people that this is what Mastery does. Mastery won't let you, because at that time, you know what you're worth. You won't just jump on any kind of lowball offer. You won't let hiring managers or recruiters just lowball you, because now you know that, yes, that this is my worth and I can charge this. So, and this is a prime example in this. From 55K to 95K. And you see, and there are jobs that are offering even more than that. And I'll show you. Let's jump into my computer real quick. Before I come on this call, there was one I actually saw. Let's see. Okay. Can you still see my screen? Let me know if you can see my screen. Yes, yes. All right. Okay. So now I stumbled on this role. I mean, it was posted earlier on. So this is JobServe for those who are in the UK, right? This is one of the sites we normally use to actually get roles, right? And I think there's a US equivalent of, so I think it's Dice. There's Dice.com, and there are different job sites basically, right? So now this is one that says cybersecurity analyst vulnerability management, and you can see how much it's offering: £750 to £850 per day. Emphasis on per day, not per month, or per day. Okay, so let's go down. Now it's a contract role. As you can see, the duration is 18 months, but I mean, for £750 a day, man, that's decent. All right. So now it says the security analyst is primarily focused on the development and maintenance of the organization's vulnerability management capabilities. Then it talks about the skills. Now the skills here: Qualys vulnerability management solution with a good level. So basically, they're saying that the candidate must have knowledge of Qualys. Okay. Now, in a minute, I'll talk to you about what Qualys is. So it goes down to talk about, what they require: taking the lead, providing advice, working closely with other teams, demonstrating a professional can-do attitude. Guys, please, where in this does it talk about you must have a first class in computer engineering or computer science, or you must have IT certifications, or all of that technical must-haves, right? Can anyone say it, please? I'll wait. If you can say it, please point it out to me. It's just not there, right? But the responsibilities now, and so I call this reverse application system, and I tell people that forget about job titles, forget about what you see on the job titles. I mean, I see a lot of people, they say, oh, there's a cybersecurity manager role, and they feel because it says manager, they feel, oh my God, this must be something big. And I say, forget about job titles, because I've seen directors who don't earn up to 50K, and I've seen analysts who are earning over 100K annually. So forget about job titles. What you need to focus on is the responsibilities, right? Look at this. So let's look at this. So the responsibilities for this, you must conduct regular vulnerability scans using the Qualys to analyze the scan results to identify vulnerabilities and all of that. All right. Now, I like this role. I like the money, right? It's paying some decent money, right? Okay. Well, I look at what is expecting, what they're expecting. I look at it. Can I do this? Right. Looking at it right now, and I feel, okay, I don't have the skills. How can I get the skills? Right. And that's why I tell people you need to focus on skills, not certifications. No one is asking for certifications here. They're asking for skills. So let's go to Qualys. Let's see what is Qualys exactly. So okay, all right. So that's it there. So Qualys. Uh-huh. So let's so Qualys is a vulnerability scan. It's scanning tool. It scans the network for vulnerabilities. Okay. And this is how I would approach that particular job, that job role. I'll come onto this particular tool because 9 out of 10 times is if a company requires to use a skill set for a particular tool, chances are other companies would require that as well. And Qualys just happens to be a high income skill to get as well. So what I'm looking for here is training. Okay, so I've got that here. So free training. So usually every tool that is being used within the industry, they normally offer free training or some sort of certifications for it. All right. So I'll come here. Vulnerability management. They have all of this here. So there's a foundation. I take this foundation and this is free. So if you get this sort of certification, as opposed to just writing exams, I would even say this is even a better one because now with this, you are getting skills. Because look at it, they've got hands-on labs and lab simulation. In other words, you would have an environment where you get to use the Qualys tool itself to scan for vulnerabilities and so that you can then put that on your CV that you have used Qualys. So they have loads of this training here. So there's Qualys. So you've seen scanning strategy. So here you have the scan process, authenticated scanning, it teaches you how to scan through firewalls and all of that, everything that is required on this the key responsibilities in this role, conducting regular vulnerability scans. If you get this certification, if you get this skill, it puts you in a position to apply for jobs like this. And look at the amounts. This is decent. In fact, let's even do a quick calculation. So we say what? £750 a day. A quick calculation here, £750 a day. There's roughly what 20 working days in a month. So let's even stay on the lower end of the spectrum, 750 times 20 working days in a month. That gives what? £15,000 a month. Times 12 months. £180,000. So when I say six figures, I hope you can see it. I'm not just making this up. This is not something I'm making up. Six figures, £180,000, which is equal to about over 200,000 US dollars a year. All you're just doing is because you've acquired that skill set. So when I say specialize in a skill, this is what I mean. Knowing this puts you in a prime position to earn six figures. Okay. So that's exactly what I mean when I said it. Now, this is in the UK, and there are other areas where you can actually get jobs like this. Another one which I normally use and I tell people a lot of that, which is also overlooked, is Upwork. People still don't believe it. Let's go to Upwork. Upwork.com. For those who don't know Upwork is a freelancing site, right? My profile has even come up. It's a freelancing website where you can also get jobs. Now, this is my profile. They've already matched me to some roles here. So, okay, fine. Now look at it there. So you go in and you see loads of roles. You see roles similar to what we're talking about. So this is 1 year GDPR compliance assessment. So if you open this, okay, you see is the name of the company, is it here? Okay. Right, the company name is not here. Okay, that must be a new thing because usually they write the name of the company. Well, as going to see, this is for, well, the company is based in Hong Kong. But what are you looking for? Looking for an expert to help us write a data privacy assessment, data protection impact assessment, blah, blah, blah. It's paying between $50 to $100 a month. I'm sorry, hourly. And with that, let's even say you work 30 hours a week. That's decent. So you can also get this kind of jobs here. I saw another one before I scrolled down, a GRC analyst. So let's look at this as well. Okay, this is in the UK here. Right, so I'm recruiting an information security GRC analyst. The purpose of this role is to support the information security manager. But let me open this in a new window so that it's clear. Everyone sees it. All right. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now look at what this is saying. Demonstrable experience within information security, risk management, governance, or related field. Experience in performing risk assessments. Experience developing and maintaining written security controls, experience working with compliance frameworks such as, but not limited to, again, ISO 27001, NIST, CIS, and these are the governance frameworks that I spoke about earlier. Guys, and it's paying, ooh, this is decent. 180, between $150 to $180 per hour. And they need someone who can work more than 30 hours a week. Jeez, let's even do the math. Again, going on the lower end of the spectrum, $150 an hour times 30 hours a week. Let's even just put it there, 30 hours. The ones someone working more than 30, but let's put it at 30 hours. That is 4,500 US dollars a week. How many weeks are there in a year again? It's 52, right? Yeah, times 52 weeks. Do the maths. That's over 200,000 US dollars. And all you just need is an internet connection and your laptop, plus the knowledge of GRC or for this frameworks. So you can be in your corner in Abuja or Yanopaja or in your village somewhere in Bristol or in Kashmir, anywhere, and you are making $200,000 annually. Now, this even has what is called contract to hire, meaning this lets talents know that this job could become full-time. And I've heard of opportunities like that where freelancers work for, companies based in, abroad in the US, Canada, and they do the job so well that they then sponsor them. They do the sponsorship visa and then they bring them over to the country to work with them full time. I know of at least one person from Nigeria. This person doing the job in their suburb, in the suburb, I think so, Pajo. So, and all of a sudden the person is in Houston, Texas, all because she did this job. So Upwork is great for, and this is another one again. Let's see. So open it in window. Right, similar. NIST ISO 27001 GDPR. Okay, they even want somebody who has GDPR skill set. 120 to 150 US dollars. So I mean, I'm happy that we're saying these things here because when I started this whole gospel of telling people that you can earn 6 figures in cybersecurity without an IT certification, oh my God, I was trolled to the heavens. Yes, on the internet, I was trolled. I was called all sort of names. I was called a scam. I was called a con artist. I was called a Yahoo boy. That it is not possible for it to say, but can I say? Can you say it? So it's the opportunities are there. I really hope that I've been able to, convince you that these roles actually does exist and the opportunities lie there. All right. So now, in summary, okay, because we're getting to the end, You can transition into a career in cybersecurity without any certifications. I hope I've been able to convince you that it is possible. All you need is you need to acquire in-demand specialist skills with a mastery mindset. You need mastery, right? Not just going for certifications. And you also need to brand yourself, right? And position yourself for success. Okay. So what you need to do now is you need to take action. Now, and the thing is, you've probably been told that the best way to get into cybersecurity is through certification and other forms of education, right? But I really do hope that I've been able to convince you that that is not the case. The truth is, you don't need any certifications or even prior experience to break into this world. And now you know why, because the GRC niche within cybersecurity is one that doesn't require any technical background at all. And there are job roles out there. There are loads of jobs. You have job titles like security risk analyst, security GRC analyst, cybersecurity assurance analyst, cybersecurity compliance analysts, information security analyst. So cybersecurity, information security, they get used interchangeably, right? But the sole purpose of these jobs is to ensure that organizations are in compliance with industry security and data protection standards and frameworks, as well as minimizing the risk, the risk levels of company. So all you just need is you just need the ability to read and analyze documentation as long as you have that ability. And a lot of you in some of your roles, what you realize that is you already have the skills, right? And most of the skills are transferable skills, analysis skills, be able to read documentation and analyze and figure out what is asking. That is exactly what you need. If you read this framework, okay, what's the PCI DSS framework saying? And the good thing is, and I tell people that I love implementing frameworks. Why? Because 50% of the job has already been done for you even before you start. Because they've already stated the requirements. They've stated what they expect organizations to have. Oh, they expect organizations to have this level of encryption. But then in the framework, or we accept that we expect organizations to have access control for certain areas. So it's all there written in the framework. All you just need to do is take this framework and then implement it within the organization. It's not rocket science, guys. But guess what? No one is talking about this. Everyone thinks cybersecurity as, oh, you must learn coding, you must learn Python, you must learn JavaScript, you must learn, but you don't necessarily need all those technical jargons or technical knowledge. You don't need, all you just need to is to be resourceful, right? It's that simple. So what I'm really getting at is this. We can make some good money in cybersecurity without all those technical must-haves by just being in this GRC space. And that's, my friends, is the secret to getting into cybersecurity that no one is talking about.